shit. Oh, yeah. What up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Cryptid Cocktail Party, a show where we have a few drinks, share a few laughs, take a dive into the unknown. I'm your host, Dave, joined as always by my wonderfully handsome co-host, Sarge. How's it going, buddy?
You fucking smooth talker.
Hey, that's what I'm here for, you know?
Flattery will get you everywhere.
I'm here to boost you, buddy. That's what being bros is about, dude. Just fucking lifting you up.
Yeah, and I'm here to support you too. Think of me as your athletic supporter.
Is that like a cup? Like a jockstrap?
Yeah, I'm gonna hold your balls up. Think of it like, like the Atlas statue where he's holding the world on his back.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here to do.
Okay.
Is hold your balls on my back.
I appreciate that, bud. You know what? That's a true Sigma move right there, and I like that. It's all about supporting your bros, dude. Fuck yes, guy. We're kind of on one today.
Nothing is more Sigma than supporting your bros' balls on your back.
Yeah, it's like Atlas Shrugged, but you're not gonna be able to with these fucking brass beauties right on your back, bro. All right.
Oh no, I won't shrug. Because I don't want you to get aroused. And I feel like any movement of my shoulder muscles might generate some friction on your yams. That's and true. Then we got a problem.
Well, I don't have
that. I'll help you solve. I'll carve you a fleshlight out of a single piece of cedar. I don't care.
Dude, it's like, oh, I was going to say off topic. We haven't even gotten to a topic yet, but did you watch that documentary about that fucking, I forget, it was on Netflix, and it's about like this guy who like scammed this family and like, had something to do with their daughter, and the dad was like, yeah, and then we were sitting in the parked car, and he said he needed some relief, so I unbuttoned his pants and I relieved him. She's talking about how he jerked off this dude in the car. I'm gonna edit that out.
I'm sorry.
You have to watch. You have to.
Was he dating
his
daughter?
Dude, hold on.
No, the dad was like, it's not gay. It's a medical procedure.
Hold on.
Just two bros helping each other out.
He says, I cannot stand my wife. I need to have sex. I could see that he was sexually aroused. He says, oh, can you give me some relief? We were laughing, and he said, oh, Bob, it's just kid stuff, and I've got to have relief. So I was dumb enough to reach over and relieve him in an act of masturbation.
Bro, come on. No, that is not, no. I have never once in my life been like, oh yeah, you know what? I'll help you out by tugging on your dick for you. Just do it yourself, man.
Bro, you wouldn't help me in my time of need.
You don't want that. My hands are calloused. Look at them.
Oh, all right. Yeah. All right.
Sandpaper. You wouldn't enjoy that. Neither would I. How do I clean that up? How do I wipe nope.
How do you wipe your conscience clean after that? I don't know.
Yeah. What if my face is itchy afterwards? And I got to remember that, yuck, man. No.
What's wild is that dude that he jerked off, I'm pretty sure killed his daughter or something. So that's pretty fucking wild. I don't really remember the documentary. I know that that dude like kidnapped his daughter or something like that. It's wild.
There's just no excuse. Like it's just kid stuff. That's not how kid stuff works.
Oh, just like playing doctor, dude. It's fine.
Kid stuff is playing with Legos. All right.
Yeah. There's
so much to unpack. I just need to forget about it for now.
Yeah, just answer the question. How are you doing, bud?
I am doing wonderful. I'm about to go to California for work.
Hell yeah.
And I have to order my hotel room through this app that they have.
Through your work,
it's like
your
a
work
travel
has?
agent. Yeah, it's like a travel agent thing. And so I'm staying at the Four Seasons in LA, which is pretty fucking cool.
Hell yeah, dude. It's better than the Four Seasons in Philadelphia, which is actually just a landscaping company. So
I should probably look and make sure I'm not staying in a landscaping company. My guess is that I'm not. No, what happened is the hotel I normally stay at, there's like a convention there. So the rooms were like $500.
What's the convention?
And I don't know. But to stay at the Four Seasons, it was only like $250 a night. So I was like, I'm saving the company money.
I was going to say, wait,
does
your company not pay for this? Because you're talking about it like.
No. I like, so the thing is, we have a rule where you got to stay. You can stay in a nicer hotel. Like you can't stay in anything under 3 stars.
Okay. Wait, is that like a stipulation?
Yeah. They don't want you to get stabbed by a hypodermic needle when you sit down on the couch. Yeah. So the only place that was above 3 stars was the Four Seasons and this other hotel that it's like $500.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I got to stay at the cheapest one. And that just happens to be the Four Seasons this time around.
Well, hey, treat yourself, bud. Treat yourself.
Oh yeah. No, I'm very excited, especially when I walk out in a tank top with Baphomet on it to go to the gym in the morning. That's going to be.
It's so LA. That's, everyone there is, satanic.
That's true.
Pedophile, blood drinking,
Charles Manson.
Yeah,
the whole nine.
That's just LA, baby. Come on.
Yeah.
Skid Row.
I'm just doing it up. I'm doing it LA style.
Why don't you just stay at the Cecil, dude? Fucking drink that.
Oh God, I wish I could, but my work is like 45 minutes from there.
Oh, well, speaking of discussing hotels, this has nothing to do, but I fucking got ringworm.
Oh my God. Were you wrestling? Because it's like the only place I know you can get that is in high school on a high school wrestling mat.
It's so basically ringworm is just athlete's foot, not on your foot. It's basically the same fungus, stuff like that. So it's
really?
Yeah. So it's easily.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah. So it's just athlete's foot, but you can get it from like either like going to the gym, which I don't fucking do. Or they say like pets, like if your pet comes in contact with it somehow, and my dogs do go outside and also sleep in my bed with me underneath the covers because I'm a terrible dog parent.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm woefully uninformed on ringworm, so I genuinely thought it was some kind of bug under your skin.
No, that's scabies. You don't want scabies. Scabies is
I knew about that. I knew about scabies because everybody's got that one kid they went to high school with. But
yeah, that was me. I was the gross crust punk kid with the fucking studded vest who got scabies more than once.
I'll be honest. The only reason I didn't have scabies is because I was on the swim team and they chlorinated the fuck out of that pool.
Yeah. But ringworm sucks. It's itchy as shit. It doesn't look great. It's
like a ring. It's an actual ring on your skin, right?
Yeah. It's like a weird raised crusty kind of circle and in the middle of it's bright red. And it's itchy. And what sucks is like I didn't notice I had it until like it was like because I don't know if you know this, but I'm not very in tune with my body. I don't.
Yeah, no, me neither.
So like I noticed it itching, but there was nothing there. And then like a few days later, I woke up. I was at work actually, and I was like, "Why is my leg itching so bad?" And it was like full on ringworm at that point. Like it wasn't like the beginning stages of it. Like this is like, so yeah. So that's what's going on in my life. It's great. I love it. So I cut out like 12 minutes of this episode because Sergeant and I ended up sharing just a bunch of pictures of ourselves from like middle school and high school. So the following sentence after this makes no sense, but whatever. Enjoy the fucking episode. All right, you want to dive into this episode?
Sharing pictures of each other in our worst.
I don't know.
Let's do it.
I think that was peak Dave. I don't think I could ever get any hotter than that. Come on, that was a skinny, well-built boy. Maybe.
So for me, that was peak man tits.
Oh, see, I think you look good. You were dapper as fuck. Anyways.
Yeah, in a tux.
Yeah.
Just wearing a regular t-shirt. I look like I was smuggling fucking bags of water balloons, actually. It looked like I was smuggling water balloons. I had tits for days. Puberty hit me hard.
Tits for days. All right. Sarge, I got a question for you. All right.
Shoot.
You ever feel hot? And I don't mean like sexy. I know you are. You should feel like that 24/7. I mean like temperature wise.
I'm sexy and I know it. Yeah.
You ever feel just like hot temperature wise?
All the time.
Okay.
All the time. I'm a fat guy in New England. So yes.
Okay.
I wear shorts to the gym every morning, regardless of what the temperature is outside.
Okay. Now you ever feel so hot that you thought you might just burst into flames?
Yes. Yeah. I spent a couple of weeks in New Jersey.
Yep.
In the summertime at Fort Dix, which is mostly just a swamp. And yeah. No, that's exactly how I felt there.
Okay. Well, same can be said about the victims of today's topic, and that is spontaneous human combustion. Are you familiar with it?
I'm a combust all over that face.
All right.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Now you already knew the topic of today's episode, and you said that
I did.
you actually know. I'm not going to say I was going to say you're an expert on it, but you know more. You probably know more about this than I do, because I didn't really research this until like 4 days ago. So.
Oh man, yeah. The picture of that lady's fucking severed calf and foot in that orthopedic shoe. Let me tell you, that's haunted my nightmares ever since I was little.
Yeah. So I was relatively I knew spontaneous human combustion, quote unquote, existed, and I think like you, the first time I ever heard about it was on an episode of Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah,
and I feel like in the 90s, like during like with cartoons and stuff like someone actually commented this on our Instagram, but like I thought it was going to be a bigger problem growing up. Same thing with like quicksand, because it was kind of like it was in a lot of media back in the day.
They talked a lot about it. It was a big topic.
Yeah, and not so much anymore. Like, which is weird because and I don't think quicksand is even in. But yeah, so it was fascinating to kind of to learn about, because no one really knows if it's real, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's a scientific anomaly, a mystery. Like no one knows what's going on. Now, for those of you under the age of like 35, who have probably never heard of spontaneous human combustion, it's the alleged phenomenon in which a person seemingly bursts into flames for just no reason, hence the spontaneous part. Leaving behind only like a pile of ash while their surroundings remain unscathed by the flames. That's like the biggest part of spontaneous human combustion, is that it's a very localized fire to just the person who was being spontaneously combusted.
Well, that and like the other biggest part would be like the foot you left behind.
We'll get to that.
The rest of you is just dust.
Yeah. And this has been a topic of fascination for forensic scientists, paranormal researchers, and skeptics alike for some time now. And I mean that in the most literal sense, as the first reported case of spontaneous human combustion was recorded in the 1470s. Like, so this story goes fucking way back. The first reported case was of an Italian knight named Polonus Virtuous. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but I'm going to run with it.
Close enough.
Yeah, he was known for being a bit of a drunk, and I feel like in the 1470s, if you're known for being a drunk, you must have been like fucking either a huge asshole or a great time, because everyone, I feel like, was drunk back then.
Well, I mean, they drank beer because it was safer than water.
Yeah, because they didn't understand boiling killed.
Yeah. They weren't there yet.
Yeah, so Polonus was enjoying some drinks with the boys when suddenly he started belching white hot flames before just fully bursting into flames right in front of some rather horrified witnesses.
He's spitting hot fire.
Then we got the case of Nicole Millette. She was an innkeeper who in the 18th century was found burned, reduced to a pile of ash near her straw bed, which, by the way, didn't catch fire. In this case, her husband was actually arrested and convicted by the authorities, claiming he actually had murdered her.
Your entire house is surrounded by flammable things. Your clothes completely flammable. You must have killed her. No, I think it was just, the flammable clothes you surrounded your body in.
Yeah, but
maybe it was that nightly bath in kerosene that did it.
But lucky for him, there was actually a doctor who was staying at the inn at the time, and he testified that he actually witnessed her like combust, and then
did nothing about it. But she was probably a witch.
Made no attempt to try to put her out, but because of that, the husband's conviction was overturned. I don't know what they ruled the death to actually be, but it is what it is.
All right, you got to tell me though. Was she hot?
For a brief moment, for at least 1 to 3 hours.
That wasn't misogyny. That was me making a combustion joke. I support women. I believe all women.
Nothing makes a joke funnier than when you have to explain it. So I'm right there with you, bud.
Yeah.
Now, we also have the case of Cornelia Zangari Bondi, an Italian countess who was discovered as nothing more than a pile of ash and a pair of unburned legs. Now, the unburned legs thing will become somewhat of a running theme throughout this episode. So from now on, just expect it moving forward. Whenever we talk about a case, just assume that there will be at least 1 foot to full 2 legs unscathed by fire.
Would you say that her legs now went all the way up?
I don't understand that one. Because there's no.
That's what they used to say back in the day when a woman had like long legs. They'd be like, legs go all the way up.
Yeah. I mean, it goes all the way up to a pile of to nothing. So, yeah. Another weird case happened in the 1800s involving a French woman named Jean Saffin, who was sitting in her kitchen table with her family when she suddenly burst into flames. Family members who witnessed this reported seeing fire coming from inside of her mouth. In this case, what? Is that funny?
Worst blowjob ever.
No. Fucking Jesus Christ.
Why did I go there?
I don't know. We're talking too much about that dude jerking off his fucking friend. That's why. That's where
That's gotta be it. That's gotta be it. For those of you not watching the unedited version of this show on Patreon, you're really missing out on some stuff.
Now, in this case, though, the fire seemed contained to just her, meaning that even though she was burning alive from the inside out, her clothes, her surrounding remained undamaged. Like this was like a really internalized human combustion. Yeah. Now, she wasn't reduced to just ash and legs, but she obviously died from her injuries. But
but
the surrounding circumstances left investigators pretty stumped. Obviously, it's fucking wild. Oh God. Unintentional puns.
The greatest unintentional pun.
Is this insensitive? I have no idea.
Can you imagine? The detective shows up on the scene. He sees 2 severed knees.
Well, I'm stumped.
He's like,
but also
one of the detectives puts out a cigarette. Phil, somebody died.
My favorite is like an investigator in the of course an investigator in the 1800s is going to be stumped. He's stumped by everything. Yeah,
I mean, this was a time period where they genuinely thought that they had to take a picture of the eyes of the victim who was murdered because they thought possibly an imprint of the murderer would be on their corneas.
Yeah, if the person who did whatever the crime wasn't actively there, still committing the crime, I was like, wow, I don't know about it. This is back when blaming a ghost was like a pretty common. Like, no, it was probably a ghost. It was either a ghost or plague rats. I don't know. Yeah, basically, being a detective and a doctor both worked the exact same way back in the 1800s. It's either a ghost or it's plague rats.
I mean, the only difference is the doctor's trying to get your blood out while the detective's trying to get it back inside you.
Okay. So, all right. So we're gonna fast forward now to some more modern cases that fit the spontaneous human combustion mold. First up, we have probably the most famous case of SHC. That's spontaneous. You get it.
Yeah.
It's just hard to say continuously. But first up, we probably the most famous case of human combustion, and that is the case of 67-year-old Mary Reeser. Now, this is the case where that famous picture of like the burnt chair and just the one leg next to it.
With the orthopedic shit.
Yeah, you know the one. Yeah. So her story goes, well, I guess ends. And that is that on On July 2nd, 1951, Mary's landlady was stopping by Mary's place for one reason or another. It's unclear. I assume it's probably just she's an old lady living in it. I really don't know. But she became worried when Mary wasn't answering her door. So she reached for the doorknob and noticed that it was very warm. Now, as we learned growing up in school, if a doorknob is hot, you probably shouldn't go in. But it was just warm. So she fucking, I guess, braved it and was like, yeah, fucking good enough. So she entered and then she found a pretty not great sight. That's all I got to say. Mary had been reduced to ash. Only her left foot, still wearing its shoe, pieces of her backbone and her skull remained. So pretty horrific. What's weirder is it seemed as though her skull had shrunken and like significantly, which stumped forensic investigators who said that typically extreme heat would do the exact opposite. It would actually cause the skull to explode due to the pressure buildup of your brain cooking inside of it. It's kind of like,
so like that scene in Scanners.
Yeah, it's just like that. Yeah, I was gonna say it's like if you microwave an egg, but we'll go with that.
I've never microwaved an egg, but now I'm going to ruin my microwave.
But it makes sense though. You know what I mean? Like if you cook something with a heat expands stuff, like your brain would normally fucking explode at your skull if you were.
Well, yeah, your head's full of liquid and the steam blow your skull out. That's interesting, actually.
Yeah, it's not great.
No, it's gonna hurt probably. You have a splitting headache.
No, now, just like. And just like other cases of spontaneous human combustion, her apartment showed minimal signs of fire damage. Nearby stuff made of plastic like outlets and light switch covers, as well as like candles and other meltable items were melted or at least softened by the heat. But the stack of newspapers just feet away from her were unscathed. And there's also like a weird oily, greasy residue that was found on the wall. And so not great.
Maybe she had tried to fry a chicken that was still frozen.
Maybe could also be it. Water, it's not a good look. Yeah. Now, so
if I remember correctly, though, she was a drunk and a smoker.
That didn't come up, but Sarge, we're gonna get there. Okay.
All right. I'm sorry. I'm very excited.
No. And another unsettling modern case is that of Beatrice.
A little hot under the collar.
No, another unsettling modern case is that of Beatrice Oxkey. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but we're going to run with it. Of Bolingbrook, Illinois. Now, over the weekend of Thanksgiving in, wow, I fucked that up. I put 1797. I think it's 1979. It's 1979. Beatrice's daughter-in-law stopped by for a visit. Upon arriving, she immediately smelled smoke. Now, instead of just busting into the fucking apartment like the landlady, she immediately goes to a neighbor's house and calls the fire department instead of just barging in. And when they arrive, they walk into a scene not too dissimilar from Mary's. Again, there's nothing left of Beatrice. She was reduced to a pile of ash, her legs completely untouched, still resting on the floor, and her shoes still firmly planted on her feet. The chair she was sitting in, same thing with Mary, was obviously all fucked up, as well as like the wall behind her. But that makes sense. But not a single sign of fire damage really anywhere else, minus, again, the usual melting and softening of plastic and candles from the heat. And like the last case, a stack of newspapers mere inches away were untouched. Is that like a thing for old people? Do they just, I guess back in the day, like you got newspapers, what are you going to do with them? Do they just have stacks of newspapers all over everywhere? It's like an episode of Hoarders.
I mean,
what the fuck? Yeah,
it's strange. It's strange. Maybe they were born at a time where there wasn't toilet paper, and so they kept the newspapers
from
nearby.
The Great Depression. They're like, hey, we got to really.
You never know when the stock market's going to crash again.
Yeah, but also they were kind of like seeing into the future. They knew that fucking 2020 was coming, and that there was going to be a shortage of any sort of sanitary paper.
Just wanted a leg up on the situation.
Yeah. Fuck me.
This is only two left.
And just like in Mary's apartment, they found that same oily, greasy residue covered like everything in the apartment. Now,
I know that feeling, honestly, because every time I go to Taco Bell. There is an oily, greasy residue left everywhere.
God damn it. All right. Those are like the two most like, I guess like famous and well-known modern cases. So, but I mean, again, I didn't go into much detail about them, but you get pretty much the gist of what's going on, right?
Yeah.
People just walk into
old
someone's
ladies
house
going up in flames.
Yeah, that's pretty. It seems like it's mostly old ladies. I don't know why.
Well, that's because like menopause dries them out. You know, it's like kindling.
It's just like just a husk of a person.
Oh God. Oh,
yeah.
I am a terrible person.
No, that's great. No, there are a lot more, and I'm gonna rapid fire through some of like some more like even like more modern race.
So spontaneously firing.
I'm gonna spontaneously fire through some even more modern like examples of spontaneous human combustion. So in 2010, Galway, Ireland, we have 76-year-old Michael Faraday, who was found burned to death in his living room. His remains were completely reduced to ash, yet his surroundings showed little fire damage. Now, the thing about this case, in a rarely seen move, the coroner actually ruled his death spontaneous human combustion, which is fucking
Holy
wild.
Shit.
Yeah, so that's cool. No further information besides that, but that's a pretty sick thing to have. Like,
he's like, he's probably spontaneous human combustion.
Dude, if I was like any of his like fucking kids or nephews or grandkids, I would frame that fucking death certificate
me too.
in a heartbeat.
Me too. That's legendary status.
How did Grandpa Michael die? Spontaneous human combustion. Like, that's fucking wild. And then in 2013, Oklahoma, we have Danny Van Zant, an alcoholic and heavy smoker who was found cremated in his home. Now, investigators couldn't find any evidence of a significant fire or even a source of a fire. The sheriff said of his remains, quote, "You could pour gasoline on someone and they wouldn't be so badly burned," end quote.
I mean, they say they couldn't find a source, but it could have been the things he kept lighting on fire and then smoking.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
No.
I'm not a detective, but I do have some theories.
And then in 2015, Flensburg, Germany, an unnamed woman was sitting on a park bench when multiple witnesses saw her suddenly ignite from nowhere. No lighter, no smoking, no nothing, like no source for the fire was found by investigators. She was severely burnt, but remained alive for a short time before she died.
You know what they said about her is that she's really got that spark. You know what I mean?
Oh, this is a bad episode.
I am on fire tonight.
And there are countless other examples, like, but like there was one homeless guy was found sleeping in a doorway with just flames shooting out from inside of his stomach. And there's another one about a homeless guy, same thing, but like on a park bench. A lot of homeless dudes. What we're finding is that it feels like dudes their spontaneous human combustion is different than women's. Not that it's a competition or anything sexist, but it seems like women, for the most part, are usually reduced to ash and feet, but men seem to, for some reason, it's just in their abdomen, and they just seems to shoot white hot fire out of them. And I mean,
maybe these guys were alphas. You know, they had that fire in their belly.
Oh, is that what it was? They had two wolves raging inside of them. Both of them are fire. Both of them are highly combustible and will destroy you from the inside out.
The dragons is what it is.
And like I said, yeah, so there's countless examples, but none of them seem to answer any of the questions that I'm sure you all have. Like, if you need at minimum 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit to fully cremate a human body, how is it that none of their homes or even like their immediate surroundings are damaged during the event? What's the oily substance found on the walls and ceilings? And why are there only legs left behind in all of these cases? Well, the most widely accepted theory as to what spontaneous human combustion really is something called the wick effect, which pretty much boils down to the human body acts like a candle. Why is that funny?
It boils
Uh, all right. It's not that funny, Sarge. Come on.
There's a lot of boiling.
Yeah, but
There's a lot.
in the colloquial sense, it boils down to is that the human body acts like a candle. The clothing of a person is the wick, while the body's fat acts as a fuel. So if a person's clothing catches on fire, which back in the day during like Mary's times, like a lot of stuff is made out of like nylon or what's one that begins with a P? I forget that name. But polyester, which is highly flammable. And even though it burns quick, if it's smoldering, it can ignite, and then this basically much happens. So the clothing of a person is the wick, while the body fat acts like a fuel. So if a person's clothing catches fire, like say you fell asleep while smoking a cigarette, the heat can melt body fat, which then soaks into the clothing, which will sustain the combustion. So basically
Wait, so hold on. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So if this were to happen to Julius Caesar, would that be a Roman candle?
This is going to be our last episode. Thank you so much for listening. And with that, sorry, do you want to say goodbye? No. But yeah, no. So
stay cool.
So basically what it is. So yeah, basically like if you fall asleep and like you said earlier, a lot of these people were drunks and or whatever. So people are probably asking like, why didn't they if they're on fire, why didn't they try to move? why would they just be like, well, this is my fate now. I just resigned to being burned alive. Well, like Sarge said, a lot of these people were drunks, or they were heavily medicated in a way that prevented them from moving. So if they're on fire, they don't realize they're on fire until it's too late, and then they are literally a pile of legs, if that makes sense.
It's just so weird to me that the only thing left is the legs.
Well, here's the thing. So with the wick effect, what this does is it creates a slow, intense burn that can reach high enough temperatures to cremate a person while leaving surrounding objects pretty much untouched. This slow burn also explains why things like legs and feet remain while the rest of the body is reduced to ash, since the fire consumes the more fat-rich areas of the body first. And if it wasn't clear by now, the oily substance that was being found all over the place, that's just human fat it's not great. But also heat rises. So if you're sitting down, your legs are out, like it's going to consume the more fat-rich areas of your body.
That makes sense. Okay.
And if you have a body like Winter Dave, your legs are very still skinny, but you're basically from the waist up, it's, like fucking Slimer. So that's pretty much what it is.
If I were to spontaneously combust, my tits would be the first to go.
Oh yeah, you're basically from nipple up, you'd be done.
Done. Game over.
All over. Now there are some lesser known theories floating around as to what spontaneous human combustion can be. One suggests that like gases like methane can build up in the intestine. And if an external spark, like from static electricity or something, I don't really fucking know, were to somehow ignite these gases, it could be possible to cause like an internal combustion. I don't genuinely know what that could be. The only thing I could think of is, that trick where if you take a lifesaver and it's dark and you bite down on it, it sparks. Do you not know this?
Oh, really? No.
Yeah. That's the only thing I can think of that would cause it. Because how else is a static electricity gonna like? The only thing I think is if you light your farts on fire and for some reason instead of going out, it just goes in. Like that's the only way I could see this even remotely being.
You need like a high degree of suction for that to work.
Hey, it's like a black hole. Brown hole. All right. Now another theory is pretty much the same, but instead of methane, it's high levels of acetone building up in the body, which can occur in individuals with diabetes or on a low carb diet.
The good news is you don't need to go to the store when you have to clean paint off of something. So
yeah, or fingernail polish,
nail polish remover.
Yeah. So acetone is highly flammable and could combust if somehow it were to ignite. So basically, but also what this boils down to is that if you're on the keto diet, fucking look out. Like you are just moments away from just fucking blowing up. And then lastly, we have
ticking time bombs.
And lastly, we have a more fringe idea, one with no real evidence to support it. And of course, this is the more popular theory amongst the more Alex Jonesian types out there.
Gay frogs?
No, this idea involves something called the Pyratron particle. It's a speculative subatomic phenomenon that some researchers claim could trigger combustion on a cellular level. That's all there is to know about it. Because again, speculative, but a lot of people thoroughly enjoy this one for some reason because it's the most bonkers one. So why wouldn't you go with that one? Obviously.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but no matter what the case, I don't ever want to catch on fire. So all these theories suck, but but there you have it, Sarge. That is spontaneous human combustion in a nutshell. Again, there's a lot to go over with all of these stories. I just try to give you the bare bones. I gave you all the facts you needed to get started on your journey if you want to learn more about it.
Yeah.
It's not great.
It's so
Sounds
weird
awful
to me that all these people died in their living room.
Is it weird?
Well, yeah, because it's a living room, you know.
Oh, fucking Jesus,
kind of the antithesis.
Actually, no. There was one in Philadelphia. I don't remember when it was. It was like 1910, something like that. It was like a doctor, and he spontaneously human combusted in his tub, I want to say, and this one he like actually like it melted the tub. I feel like tubs back then were metal, but like I think the heat from him heated the tub up so much that it fell through the floor.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't put this in the story. there was
he bathing in propane? Like what the fuck?
No, he just fucking dude, it's 2,000 degrees of a human body just burning in a metal tub. I bet it was like a real nice tub too, but it was like a claw foot tub.
Like a claw tub, yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know it was.
Those are nice.
But yeah, I mean it happens everywhere.
Well, I mean, you know what they say.
About being spontaneous.
Taste the meat, not the heat.
Oh, God. Okay.
So much gas.
But yeah, so there you have it. You got any thoughts, concerns, thoughts and prayers?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like, just remember that old saying: if the doorknob's hot, probably not. You know, don't go in.
That's not the saying, is it? I don't think it is. I mean, that's actually pretty good. That's like a good way to avoid a backdraft.
If the doorknob's hot, actually, you know what it is? It's if the doorknob's hot, better not, you know, go in.
You could just left it at. No, you know what? You're right. But yeah, but Sarge, you said you've read a lot about spontaneous.
Yes.
Yes. Is there anything that you want to add to this?
I mean, so I heard that one of the theories was for a guy who worked on a farm and he had the blue flame coming out of his belly. Mm-hmm. And they were like, oh, well, the dust from corn is extremely flammable.
Yeah. So was he like ripping butts and fucking.
Well, he did, like, it inhaled it, you know. So that was kind of the idea, is that it like inhaled a lot of that dust and then the flames came out and it looked like it was coming out of his stomach, but it could have been coming out of his lung. Who knows?
But how would it ignite? Like he'd have to like be smoking a cigarette and like an ember went into his, but I feel like it would extinguish before then. Like,
well, you know, because actually, have you ever seen people light a candle just off the smoke?
No.
Like they don't touch. So they blow out a candle and then they hold a match to the smoke and it goes up.
So just the heat alone?
Yeah, well, the smoke itself is extremely flammable.
Yeah, but like what? But what?
He breathed it in, and then he lit a cigarette and.
Okay. I don't buy it.
I don't know. It's all fucking crazy.
You know what? this is the first time I'm going to say I don't believe in spontaneous human combustion. So this is something, I think the wick effect is clearly the most. Like if you're wearing like these people are like in like their fucking 70s, they're wearing a nylon muumuu when they're sitting in their favorite recliner, having their nightcap, and they're smoking a Misty Light 120, just the longest of cigarettes. You know, take a couple.
My buddy's mom used to smoke those, and she kept them in the freezer.
Yeah. Well, when I smoked, I'd buy cartons of cigarettes and I put them in the freezer. I don't know if it actually does anything.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's a New England thing.
Maybe that's
it has to be. But no, like, like she's smoking her Misty Light 120s, and then fucking, Matt walks over. You take a couple Tylenol PMs, wash it down with a nightcap of a very strong rum and coke. You pass out, your cigarette falls on your lap. Next thing you know, just a couple of legs.
Boom, you're gone.
Yeah.
You're gone. It's such a weird phenomenon. I actually do believe that it occurs. I just think that there's probably a natural explanation for it. It's just not,
to be fair, none of these theories say there's anything supernatural about it. So that's kind of cool. The weird particle that doesn't exist, that's kind of weird. But I do like the fact that in none of these theories was like, yeah, and aliens came down and they fucking burst her into flames. Like,
I am grateful for that because it's a little out of control.
Yeah.
I'm glad that, like, with this one, the craziest thing is like a theoretical particle that exists.
Exactly.
Like, okay, I'll take it.
But yeah, like, I don't know. I'm trying to think about how to phrase
like Charles Dickens wrote about this. He actually killed off a character in one of his books with it.
Spontaneous Human Combustion.
Yeah, because back in the Victorian era, they actually believed that it was something that afflicted people who are alcoholics.
Well, that was another thing. You brought that up, is that a lot of the people in the story, they like their fucking...
And they were drinking.
Yeah, they were...
Mary Reeser, I remember reading that she was drinking. She wasn't a drunk, but she was drinking.
Well, yeah, again, you got a nightcap, really strong Bacardi and Coke, something I like to call strict moms. Where it's mostly Bacardi, splash of Coke for color. You know what I'm talking about?
Strict moms that become progressively nicer the more they drink.
Well, it depends on how you did in school that day.
You're more and more like your father every day.
Oh yeah, we call those strict. My grandmother drinks them. Call them strict moms. She's phenomenal. She's great. But my buddy Chad, his mom drank them too. R.I.P. Chad's mom. Love you. We call them strict moms because hers were aggressive, and I've never seen it. It was like
it's mostly Bacardi with a splash of Tab in it.
Splash of Coke just for color. It's not for flavor.
Yeah,
it's just to make it look
just
like
to change the color.
Just to make it look like you're not a fucking raging alcoholic.
Which she didn't even need because she was already drinking brown rum.
No, this is this is Bacardi Silver. We're talking about just rum.
Oh, okay. No, she's drinking the hard stuff.
Yeah, we call it strict moms. That's why.
Okay.
But yeah, you get a couple of those in you, fucking fall asleep in your fucking nylon moo watching fucking, I don't know, what will people
That's
watch?
Fair. I mean, honestly, that was the first drink I had when I turned 21. And I pushed it away because it was disgusting. Rum is awful.
Oh,
it
see, I was
tastes like cough syrup.
I was drinking way before I was 21. My first legal...
No, I was too, but that was my first legally purchased alcoholic beverage.
My first legally purchased 21-year-old beverage was we went to this place called the Asia. It was a Chinese food restaurant in Dover, and I got 4 scorpion bowls for $4 to myself, and then it was immediately kicked out. I drank.
Yeah, no. I'm surprised you didn't die, to be honest.
Well, to be fair, I was doing a bunch of drugs in the bathroom that made my stamina pretty intense.
Okay, fair enough.
And then we left,
right.
and then we went to the liquor store, and then oh yeah, all this, by the way, all this is before like 1 p.m. And then we went to the liquor store, and then we tried to find the ingredients to make scorpion bowls ourselves. And not gonna lie, we got pretty close. It was pretty good. Oh yeah, but anyways, that's Spontaneous Human Combustion. I feel like this episode was more for us than it was for the listeners.
Yeah. It was just a vehicle for me to make many puns about catching fire.
So technically this is episode 100. Not 100 proper. We've done quite a few bonus episodes. So I'm not gonna say this is our 100th episode. I feel like it's not fair, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it is the 100th episode, and I think in lieu of fireworks, I think we handled it well.
I think we did. think we did okay. When it gets to the like 100 proper, I think we'll do something special. I feel like, right? We'll do something good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take off my shirt and everyone can see my giant pepperoni nipples.
Yeah. Ritualistic suicide live on air. Let's get it, dude.
What? No, I didn't say that.
Well, oh, all right. Well, anyways, sorry.
I was just going to show you my nipples. I wasn't going to.
Oh,
who's going to die? I feel like we have different ideas of how to celebrate.
No, let's move on. Anyways, is there anything you want to plug before we sign off?
Nah, coloring book, sajassupernormal.com. You can buy that. One of these days I'll get around to writing something with words in it. That's it. That's all I got.
All right. If you want to follow us on Instagram, follow us on at Cryptid Cocktail, TikTok, Cryptid Cocktail Party. Leave us a rating and review. It really helps the show. We've been getting a lot of new followers. Not so many new listeners, but a lot of new followers on the Instagram, which is fucking wild. Because I posted that one fucking thing.
We'll get there. That
one thing. And we gained 4,000 new followers, but like 30 new But you know what? I'm not going to disparage. You know, it's whatever. It's fine. Yeah, leave us a rating review. It's great. Enjoy Narragansett. It's a great beer.
Drink Narragansett. I'm drinking it right now. I'm drinking the Dell's Shandy Narragansett. Yeah. I also really like the iced tea.
Oh, wait, they have an iced tea? Dude, I hate that you live so close to the brewery and I'm so far away. All I got is fucking lagers. I have a year's supply of lager in my basement and I'm tired of it.
Bro, they will fund you to come up here.
I know. When we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Also,
because if you come up here, just imagine the shenanigans we could get up to in Providence, Rhode Island.
I'm a shenanigan master, and it won't be good. I'll want to vandalize stuff, and I will want to break things. I'm not.
Me and Cam can hold you back a little bit, but we could do karaoke.
Okay, and then we could fight a cop.
Beastie Boys karaoke because now there's going to be 3 of us.
Yeah, but I can't do bars. I can do the okay. Like I can do the.
Great. I'll pick a rap song where all you've got to do is the Little John part.
I'm just a hype man. That's all. I'm a really good hype man. What else? Oh, Cryptid Camp. The Kickstarter ended, but they hopefully should be coming soon. I think March or something like that. So, you know, definitely give them a follow. And then after that, obviously there's going to be Base Set 1. Should be great. So go follow Cryptid Camp. Instagram's obviously Cryptid Camp. Check them out. And I think I don't have anything else I want to plug. I think that's it. Oh, there's 2 bands you should listen to. Killed by Yeti and Cool Parents. Listen to both those bands. They're phenomenal. Killed by Yeti, surprise, may or may not be making new intro music for us because I'm tired of our intro music and it's going to be fucking baller. Sarge has no idea. This has already been happening. It's been like 2 weeks in the work. I think they're in the studio now recording. So
I'm ready for it. Please give me lyrics that I can shout.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be phenomenal. But with that out of the way, Sarge, do you want to say goodbye and I love you to the audience?
Hey audience, goodbye. I love you.